Assalamu alaikum. Islam is not just a personal faith. It's a complete way of life that encompasses both individual and collective well-being. The Quran does not only guide us on matters of spirituality and worship, but it also provides a blueprint for a just and ethical society. In Tafsir al-Mīzān, Allamah Hussein Tabatabai highlights the Quran's sociological vision, explaining how divine principles shape governance, economic justice, family structure, and social ethics. So in today's episode of Reflection, we will explore the sociological dimensions of al-Mizan, discovering how the Quran offers solution for a harmonious and just society. Let's begin. The Quran presents human beings as social creatures, created with innate need for a community and cooperation. Quran says, وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, and we have created you in pairs. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ وَأُنْثَى, O mankind, we have created you from a single pair. Allamah Tabatabai explains that human beings are designed for interdependence, relying on each other's strength and abilities. This division of labor is part of God's divine plan, ensuring that societies function efficiently. The strongest communities are those built on justice, empathy, and cooperation. So a moment of reflection. If we are created to support and uplift each other, how do we contribute to a more just and compassionate society? Justice is one of the central commands of the Quran. It applies to individuals, communities, and governments alike. God says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Indeed, God commands justice, doing good, and generosity towards relatives. In another verse, He tells us, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. And do not let hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is nearer to righteousness. Allamah Tabatabai highlights that justice is not just a legal concept, but a moral and a social duty. Oppression, exploitation, and corruption violate divine law. Both leaders and citizens are responsible for ensuring justice in all aspects of life. So as we reflect, we ask, how do we uphold justice in our daily interactions, whether in family, business, or community life? The Quran emphasizes economic justice. Wealth should circulate fairly in society, thus preventing extreme disparity. وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Those who hoard gold and silver and do not spend them in the way of God. In another ayah, God says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ, and establish prayer and give zakat. Allamah Tabatabai explained that zakat and charity are not just optional good deeds. In fact, they are obligatory responsibilities to prevent poverty. Riba, usury interest, is prohibited because it creates economic injustice and exploitation. Islam promotes ethical business practices where wealth is earned honestly and shared fairly. And as we reflect, we ask, do we see our wealth as a personal possession or as a trust from God to be used for the betterment of society? A strong and ethical society begins with a strong family unit. The Quran highlights the importance of love, respect, and responsibility within families. وَمِنْ آيَاتِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. And among His signs is that He created for you mates from among yourselves, that you may find tranquility in them. And in another verse, God says, وَقَضَىٰ رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Your Lord has decreed that you not worship except Him, and to parents you show good treatment. Allamah Tabatabai explains that the family is not just a biological unit, but a moral institution where values are nurtured. Compassion, responsibility, and trust within families create stronger communities. The disintegration of a family structure leads to wider societal problems. A moment of reflection. How do we strengthen our family relationships to reflect Quranic values of love and responsibility? The Quran describes governance as a responsibility, not a privilege. Leaders are, after all, servants of the people. وَالشِّيَعَةُ وَشَاوِرُهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ, and consult them in the matter. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُكُمْ أَن تُؤَدُّوا الْأَمَانَاتِ إِلَى أَهْلِهَا. Indeed, God commands you to render trust to whom they are due. Allamah Tabatabai emphasizes that legitimate leadership must serve the interest of the people, not personal gain. Tyranny and injustice are betrayals of leadership's divine trust. The Quran's principle of shura, consultation, ensures inclusivity in decision making. And so, as we reflect, we ask the question: do we hold our leaders accountable? And do we practice ethical leadership in our own roles, whether in work, family, or community? Ethics are not just personal virtues, they shape how we interact as a society. God says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, speak to people good words. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ, the believers are both brothers, so make peace between your brothers. Allamah Tabatabai explains that truthfulness, kindness, and justice are essential ingredients for a strong society. Neglecting these ethics leads to societal breakdown, while practicing them fosters peace and cooperation. A moment of reflection: how do we then cultivate honesty, empathy, and fairness in our daily interactions? Finally, I leave you with this thought: the Quran is not just a book of personal guidance, it provides a framework for social harmony and justice. And as we reflect on these teachings, let's ask ourselves, what role do we play in building a more just and an ethical society? Next week, we continue our journey through al-Mizan. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, reflect, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next episode of Reflection. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.